How you going? Welcome to the Watermelon Podcast, hosted by 100 Rainbows. Today we're here with Aeron Treasures. How are you, Aeron? Hello, Aeron. How are you? It's 1 a.m. over there, so maybe she's got a few glasses of wine going. She just left the Discord for the moment, but we'll give her a second to come right back. We were just talking about a minute ago, and we actually got the time wrong, and I thought it was an hour earlier, but she had the time right. She was punctual. And she's just left the voice chat for just a moment. And here she is. She's back.
Okay.
There you are. Hey, Aaron. How are you?
Hey. All good. Hi.
Good, good, good. Welcome. I was just saying to everyone that we're doing the Watermelon Podcast, and today we've got yourself, Aeron Treasures, who is, I think, a great upcoming artist. I think the digital work that you've done is really great, and I like to go through the individual pieces, and we'll see how kind of your thoughts and my thoughts, and we'll podcast on that.
Sure thing.
Great,
Can't wait to do that.
great. Um, so for those who don't know where we are, you can join the Discord server, or you can join the Watermelon podcast here in the events page on Decentraland. If you click into it and do a search, you can find all the Discord attachments and links, and we've got Twitch and YouTube. So here we are. And Aaron, did you do you want to walk around the block? I just thought it'd be nice to kind of go through this area. Um, we just got a bit of static coming in there, but that's cool. That's done now. Here we're located in the kind of south of Decentraland, kind of the southeast area, near the Asian Plaza, which is a little different from where the other locations are. Mostly there's a lot of population in the top left, but today we're in the bottom bottom right. And Aaron, come over here. Let's have a walk. Did you want to just maybe
Sure.
tell us a bit
Follow
about
me.
yourself? Like who is
I
Aaron?
don't know myself.
Who is Aaron Treasures?
Aaron, the real life person or just the metaverse one?
We want to know the real person. We want to know the blood and bones. Not to say that digital isn't has a lot of real stuff, but we want to know who Aaron is.
I see. Well, Aaron is a simple girl.
Yeah,
I'm 26 years old.
yeah,
I live in Romania.
fantastic.
I don't have a big family. I do have a sister though.
Yeah,
Um, I'm living a simple life like every other person, average.
yeah,
I've been born at the countryside, so I know how to, I know what hard work it means.
you know what
Maybe
hard
that's
work?
why yeah, I'm dedicated doing things,
Yeah,
in every job I had and everything like that.
yeah,
But I enjoy life.
yeah. No, that's great. That's lovely. I mean, it's great that you've learnt hard work. I mean, is there any experiences to say that like, how did you learn what work ethic was and what hard work is?
Well, like I said, I've lived in the countryside. I was born
Yeah,
in the countryside from the
yeah.
country, so um, my parents were agricultures. We
Sorry,
worked on
they
the
will.
field.
Yeah, agriculture.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
exactly. We
yeah,
worked on the field.
yeah,
So yeah, I've been doing hard work from forever. Well, we were
yeah,
kids and they were bringing us with them.
yeah,
This is how we were doing it.
yeah. And what does that mean? Like when you say hard work, so it was about getting up early, feeding the farm
Yeah,
animals, perhaps, and
exactly. Um,
grinding, planting.
yeah, going into the field, planting, and doing everything that is necessary for a crop to grow. And I don't know how to express it.
Yeah.
It's like everything from the beginning. Like you plant the seed and you get the rewards. You know, every
Yeah.
single step we had to do that. But was great. It was as a family.
Yeah.
So there's no remorse or anything like that.
No.
um, and it teach me and my sister lots of important things. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
made us more responsible, and that's why I'm saying that we do both of us know what hard work means. Uh,
Absolutely. No, that's great.
but I'm a normal person. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm living a normal life. I live in an apartment in the capital of Romania, in Bucharest. It's not a huge city, but it's a pretty big one. It's yeah, I'm working like everybody else,
Yep. So you
and I enjoy doing this now.
you
Creating
enjoy.
some art
Yeah.
is
Great.
pretty great for me.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's funny how, so you live in the capital now.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm.
exactly.
That's funny, isn't it? Like, we always kind of want what is the opposite. So, for example, there's a lot of people, I see a tendency of people who are brought up in the country to kind of want to go into the city. And then there's a lot of vice versa as well, where people who have grown up in the city or in the suburbs kind of want to go out to the country and kind of get that peace
Yeah.
and quiet. Um, have you felt that that's happened to you? Or what do you think about that? Or
Well, yeah, honestly, I can say I can relate with that.
mm,
Like, from where we're from when we're kids, you know, we wanted to, like our parents were telling us, you go to school, you get some good education, you go into the city, you live a nightlife, you know, you don't have to work like us in the field all your life.
yeah.
So yeah, me and my sister grew up with that in our daily education. Like, you know, you have to learn and you have to go to the city to create a better life.
Mm.
And that's what we kind of accomplished. I mean, we pretty much nailed it.
You nailed it. So,
Well, I can say yeah. Maybe I didn't that better, but my sister for sure, yeah.
yeah, that's great. So when you say that your parents wanted you to live a better life, obviously the decision to be in the country and essentially start a farm it wasn't a choice in a way, that it was they did that as a means to provide for
No,
you and wanted you to move on.
yeah,
Yeah.
they worked in the field and like they did agriculture because this was their way of making money, of living their lives, you know. It was necessary at that time, especially in the country zone where I was born, where I lived. There weren't too many jobs, like there were really few. So
Yeah.
maybe more than 90% of the people that lived there were doing the same as my parents.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and
Maybe.
they still do, even in these days. My grandma is still growing potatoes and corn and stuff like that.
Yeah. That's funny with
You know,
the
this is what she did all life. Yeah,
yeah.
and she's not stopping now.
That's great. No, she's obviously sown a lot of seeds and gotten a lot of fruit, and
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
one
And
of those
she,
fruits. I really I think I have to go into Romania sometime and kind of understand the history a little more. That so much of
well, sure
um,
too.
the culture had to be done in agriculture. Well, I guess most of the living had to be done in agriculture. So I'd like to see what the city has brought up. But from that, you were able to kind of produce these great art pieces. So why don't we dive into one of them? And the one that I'd like to ask is kind of the one in the top left over there. But that being said, um, maybe I'd like to give my just an impression of who you are at the moment. And from what I can tell, you're obviously like a humble girl, and but from that, you've been able to produce these really great pieces that I had to. The first time I saw, and I think a lot of the time when people saw them, they're just kind of blown away by what it is. And you describe yourself as a digital artist. So it's not the traditional kind of paintbrushes and paints, like everything is kind of done on a device. But what you're doing is
Yeah.
you're transitioning into adding animation and motion, right? So what I'd like to do is go through your pieces without animation, and then we'll go into the pieces that you have with animation, and it'd be nice to get a comparison. So I'd like to ask you the one over here, Aaron. So this one over here is when you look at it in the gallery, um, it's a it's clearly a woman, perhaps an angel, and in the distance there, there's another woman in the right corner, kind of looking over her shoulder at this other a kind of angel warrior, I would describe it. And then on the left, you've got these multiple eyes kind of looking in as well. So it's like you kind of leaving the dark and going out of the light. And there's a lot of that. So I mean, from that and looking at your artwork, I can see straight away that perhaps this is a reflection of leaving a country life and going into the city. Perhaps it's not that literal, but that's what I see at the moment. I'm just going to open it up for an open sea, and let's have a look at it in a little more detail because the graphics don't come through exactly as clearly from Decentraland, and there's a whole bunch of reasons there for that. But this one you've got going, it's called Constantly Being Watched. So let's dive into that. And it's currently on auction. It's got 12 hours to go, and it's currently going for zero point 0.2 ETH. So, Aaron, I'd love to hear about your this piece. Please tell us about it.
Always a bit hard for me to express in words what
Yeah,
I what they mean to me. So if it doesn't really make sense for everybody, I apologize from the beginning. For me, it does a lot of sense. Um, like I've seen this piece like this is a person I can relate with, of course. The angel that's in the main character of the piece. It's constantly being watched. That means the lady in the corner is keep watching, like, but it's not in a bad way. It's like a mother watching over her. It's protective, kind of watching you. And that lady in the corner is actually trying to fight with the evil from the behind of the girl. The many eyes, the demons behind her. Because if you look in front of her, you'll see the pigeons, like the
yeah,
peace and quiet that she has. Her face is not scared. She's not. She doesn't have any fear in her face. Yeah, she looks peaceful. Yes, she's a warrior because this is how she was raised to be. Okay, but it's not all because of her. It's because she was watched over by others. This is what it means for me.
yeah, amazing. So I really like that because for me, straight away, it represents a child. Yes, okay, this woman is completely grown up and can clearly fend for herself. She's appears as an adult female, and she's got her weapons in her hand, and she can clearly fend again for herself. But it reminds me of a time when we were children and we couldn't fend for ourselves. And so why is it that children can play or have fun and have their innocence protected? It's the only reason why they can do that is because they have their parents over them. Or it doesn't have to be a parent as such, but at least a guardian kind of looking over them. And it's funny because I've got kids and I know that sometimes I don't always spend a lot of time with them, but I do try to be present when I'm there. And sometimes I feel guilty for not actually interacting with them as such. But then I remind myself that perhaps the reason why they can play freely is because you're provided this safe environment where they can do that because they're not starving, they have shelter, they feel loved, they feel safe. And because of that, they can kind of be still and calm. And that's what I like about this, where now that child is kind of grown up into this female warrior, and while she knows that there's all these eyes and things behind her, she knows that she's capable of kind of looking after herself. But on top of that, she's got the backing of a female guardian looking over her, and that kind of can help her excel to kind of a next level. So I really like that piece.
That's exactly. It's like we all have a mother, a sister, or someone that's always been there for us. You know that we know they took care of us, and they are still maybe taking care of us. So no matter what happens in life, even though in front of you is always peace and life and quiet, you never know what's going on, what's gonna happen, or what did happen.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, is that? I mean, I'm not sure if this is a direct or how literal this is, kind of with your a guardian looking over you, but is that how kind of you felt around, your own parents or your own family, like kind of growing up in the country?
Yeah, actually, yeah, it relates a lot with me, and it's both from my mother's and also I think mostly actually my guardian angel is my sister. So yeah, it has a really big impact over me because this is literally how it's been all my life. It really is. My sister is always been there. Like even when I didn't know I need help, she still was there helping with something.
Amazing. That's great.
And yeah, it's a literal place for me.
Yeah, yeah.
She still protects me even these days, and I'm a grown woman,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. So what did your
So I think that I really believe that many people can relate with that. I think that many of us have someone, not necessarily a mother or a sister like me, okay, but you have someone in your life that's always been there for you or helped you or
yeah,
still does that.
yeah,
If you're a grown up adult,
yeah,
you still sometimes need someone to relate with.
yeah. That's great. Um, on that note, let's go on to the next piece. I don't know if you can have a look at your quality of your audio there, Aaron, but if you can do anything to kind of touch it up, that'd be great. But
I
otherwise,
love
okay, that's all
it.
right. Yeah, it's just a little bit muffled, and I'd hate to go through another. If we can do something, that's great. If not, we'll power through anyway. Um, yeah, so no, that's great. I really like that piece. It's called Constantly Being Watched, um, and that has a negative undertone. And I guess, you know, what's something that's helped kind of toughen you up? Because when I look over your pieces, there's a lot of it's obviously very feminine, because well, you are feminine, and there's a lot of darkness kind of coming out into the light. So, can you recall on something that's maybe helped you toughen up as a country girl? I know, I mean, I've got a few country friends, and they've always got some.
I'm sorry, I really can't hear you. You just interrupted me.
Yeah, can you hear me? Okay.
No,
No, you can't hear me.
I didn't understand that because you're really interrupted. Um, yeah, now it's a lot better. Thank you.
Yeah, how's that? Can you hear me now?
Okay.
How you going there, Aaron? Can you hear me? Okay.
Can you still hear me?
It's a bit choppy. Um,
I can hear you very good now.
yeah,
You were
that's
really interrupted before, but now it's perfect.
okay. Great. We're good. We'll continue.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, great. This is what happens. I'm in Australia, you're in Romania, but we're doing our best. So let's power on. I was
Yeah,
interested to kind of
exactly.
know, I was interested to know a little more about you and kind of it's interesting that you're growing such a close relationship with your sister and that she's looked out for you. Um, is she like your younger sister, older sister? Like,
Older sister,
yeah.
she's 6 years and a half older than me.
Oh,
So it's
wow.
a pretty big difference. Yeah.
Yeah, she really does look out for you. What do you, what does she say about you kind of coming into the metaverse then? Is she what were her thoughts on that?
Oh, this is really funny. Yeah, it's really funny because she doesn't understand these things.
Yeah,
Like she just kind of started looking on cryptocurrencies, but not really knowing what she's doing there. So
yeah,
when I told her about like I'm doing a digital art and I open a gallery in metaverse, she's like, "What? Just tell me piece by piece." She doesn't really understand it yet, but I'm gonna show it to you to her. Sorry, and once she'll see the gallery, uh, she'll pretty much understand it better.
yeah, yeah. That's great. I mean, I think we're absolutely transitioning into a metaverse and a digital world, and yeah, it's funny. It's hard to talk to family about it all the time because they might not get it. Especially if you only tell them once or twice, there can kind of be a resistance to it. But I guess your sister is wanting to kind of get into the metaverse as well, or maybe to look out for you. Make sure you don't get into any trouble.
Yeah, she's really excited for me because she sees how excited I get, and
Yeah,
that I enjoy it and I like what I'm doing, my job as well, and this uh, art that I'm creating now here.
yeah,
She is excited for me. She's not fighting me for this or something,
yeah,
but she doesn't really understand all the concepts. You know how people can get with something new.
yeah,
If you don't know things about it, it's pretty weird to get it,
yeah,
especially with Decentraland, which is a really big and complex
yeah,
metaverse.
definitely.
You really have to read about it and see it for yourself before you can understand it.
Yeah. And what do you think? What do you think she's having trouble with the most? Do you think? Kind of. I'm just interested to
Yeah,
know what.
she doesn't really understand the blockchain, or things like that, you know. So it's
Yeah,
really difficult to what is a metaverse if
yeah,
you don't really understand anything related to not minded. She really tries and she will get it once I sit down and really explain
yeah,
it.
yeah,
But
yeah,
she, like everybody else, like I did myself, I needed time before people explain to me. Like my boyfriend was a and a part of this thing that I have here because he's the one that actually um, introduced me
yeah,
to this whole
yeah.
metaverse
Hey, Aaron, sorry to
and
interrupt you, but I just wanted to say, whatever you're doing now, your voice is perfect. It's really, really hard. So whatever you've done, just try and stay on that because your voice is perfect right now. So yeah, so please continue. You were saying your boyfriend had an influence.
yeah, he's the biggest part of this whole thing for me because he's the reason that I got into Decentraland and into the projects here and into this whole world. I
Really?
didn't knew it. I wasn't here before I met him. So yeah, he's the reason I'm doing all of this, and I'm here because of him. And I want to
Okay.
thank him and say happy birthday to him. Today is his birthday.
Happy
Tomorrow,
birthday,
actually,
buddy.
sorry.
Happy birthday. He's a July boy. So he's
Happy
a
birthday, babe. Yeah.
he's a Cancerian or is that a what's that star sign? I don't know. I don't too, I, star signs interest me, but I don't really know too much about them. But yeah, happy birthday to you, buddy, and thanks for introducing Aaron to the metaverse.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So did he know about? So how long was he into the? Like, how did that happen? How do you? Let's look at another painting, and then I'd love for you to kind of tell us that story.
Sure,
Um, let's have a look at
sure
this one
thing.
over here. So I'm going to bring that up. Let's have a look at it. So why don't you tell us about how that happened? Like, how did that relationship blossom with your boyfriend and both of you ending up in the metaverse? Because there are a lot of relationships here as well. Like people kind of come here as couples, and I don't know if they enter the metaverse and then they find each other as avatars, or do they meet in real life and come together and just share the experience? So I'd love to know more. Kind of how did that happen? How did you and your boyfriend end up in the metaverse?
Well, we met in the real world. Like I said, he's the one that introduced me to all of this,
Yeah, the
so
old-fashioned way.
it was possible. Yeah, old-fashioned way. Yeah, we met. We were together for a while now, a few years. Um, he's been involved in this um, crypto, blockchain, DAO projects and things for years now, uh, quite a few years.
Hmm.
So yeah, he tried from the beginning of our relationship to tell me about crypto. He was so excited that in that period of time, like about Bitcoin and Ethereum, and I didn't know anything about it. Okay, let's just be clear. I was like my sister, zero. I had no experience. I haven't read anything about it, or I haven't done anything in this area at that time. So I was like, no, I don't want to know. It's too hard. I don't think in this. I don't believe in these things. I don't want to invest money in kind of like these things. I don't believe it's working. You know, it
What is
was
this
like
rubbish currency?
a game for me. Yeah, they want to take us our money and that's it. I was like,
Scam.
really,
Mm.
really, yeah, exactly. But with time, I've seen him making some investments and sometimes like not big stuff, but seeing someone actually earning something, it's pretty great. It makes you start to believe in things and makes you want to try understand them, you know. And actually, first time when I got in Decentraland, it's pretty funny because it was in Decentral Games Casino, a free play competition, and he was like, "Come on, sit at the computer and start playing some games." And then I don't play like in the casino. I have no idea. I had no idea how to play blackjack or roulette or anything like that, you know. But it
Yeah,
was a free play competition, so he
yeah,
wanted me to have fun and somehow to introduce me the metaverse in a fun way so I
yeah,
can get excited about it. He's working good. He's
yeah.
good.
He got
So
ya.
yeah, I started playing it at free play competitions in Decentral Games, and I started winning some DG from the competitions. Like I got in top three from roulette, and I
Yeah,
was so excited. And was at that time the Central Games had like one or two events per week, if I remember correctly. Like every Friday or something like that was a free play competition.
yeah,
So I was eager for them. I wanted them to come to go and play again. And step by step, I started to want to see how it works. You
yeah,
know what he's doing here and things like that. And I got into other games and other events with him, but not so much, not like he was doing it. But still, got interested.
yeah,
So that's how I started.
yeah. That's great. So it does usually take someone to experience the metaverse first, and I would describe him as maybe the earlier adopter in your circle,
Yeah,
and he was the
exactly.
yeah, and he was the one that kind of
That's for
discovered it,
sure.
and then he brought you in, and now you're going to bring in your sister, and it's just like uh,
Like a change.
yeah, for me, it's very much an awakening or a realization of what's going to happen. And that's interesting that I would love to find out how he heard about crypto. But I guess that's time for another
That's another
story.
story. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Maybe he'll be a guest in another podcast to talk
maybe,
with us.
maybe. I'd love
I
to
don't
know
want to
more about
speak
it.
from him for himself, because
No,
I don't want to share his story.
yeah, yeah, no, of course, no worries. But no, it's great to see that you guys are both here. Do you both spend time together inside Decentraland? Do you walk around avatars? Do you check things out, or is it just more you come in when you're
Oh
working
yeah,
and
sometimes.
yeah,
Yeah, depends. He's not really coming when I'm working because I'm working during the day, so he has to work as well during the day. But
yeah,
at some events or some things, yeah, we do come together in Decentraland.
great. He'll have
Now
to,
it's fun. We like
yeah,
it.
he'll have to go through this podcast later on when we post it again. Um, but why don't you tell us about this piece here? It's called the Be Brave, Little One, and why don't you tell us a bit about it?
Yeah, this one is a bit older piece, I can say.
Mm,
It was first exposed in the Central Games Casino at one of our events there. Um, this one, it's like most of my pieces. I don't want people to think that it's all about me here. If, but yeah, most of the pieces, like at least 90% of the pieces that I'm creating, it's about me or something from my life or something like that. So it's personal. Yeah, this is about me as a kid. I was always afraid of darkness, like always. As a kid, never got outside of the house if it was dark. Not even like in the yard or the stairs. Nothing alone. Always needed my dad there. So if you look at the piece, we have a little shadow of a man in the forest, like he's creating a little white path for me, a light path for me to go at the end of the darkness. Um, it's pretty cool. It has a big emotional stuff for me.
yeah,
um, yeah, it mostly represents me and my dad in my childhood.
yeah. I mean, we all have our father figures. I mean, I guess we went through the feminine mothering side, and then we have a masculine or male representation as well. And I mean, I know my girls can't get up to go and brush their teeth by themselves in the hallway without, kind of me going with them, or they're kind of afraid just um, to go in there by themselves or to turn the light on. So it's like, so this one is obviously about a protective father, so how was that? I mean, he worked. I mean, I know that when you have a family, you kind of look out for your girls and you do the best you can for them. And sometimes is it the best or is it exactly what they needed? You don't know, but I guess we're all human, including fathers, and they're kind of we have our flaws, even though the kids think we're perfect, that type of thing. But how was so this represents your dad, so how was that? Would you like to elaborate?
Yeah, it's a bit hard for me to talk about my dad, and I
Yeah,
don't
okay. You don't
want to go
you,
into
yeah, no.
more in a lot of details.
No, you
But I
don't
don't
have
want to be like no,
uh,
I don't want to be like that because I think people expect for me to be a bit open, but I have some limits in this specific subject. I don't have any contact or any kind of relationship with my father for like I think over 6 years now,
yeah.
or at least 6 years.
Hmm.
So that's why it's pretty hard. But I don't want to say I don't want to get all the bads in because he also had a lot of good things when we're kids.
Yeah.
Okay, my dad was a really good father sometimes. Like I have lots of great memories with my dad. We're really close I was a kid. So
Yeah.
out of respect for that period of time and for that moments that I really had a lot of great moments with him as a father. Um, I wanted to bring something good about it in at least one of my faces because I think in a kind of a way in a small measure he does deserve that for all the good, you know.
Yeah. No, I mean,
So
it's
this represents something really good that he offered me as a child. He offered me the safety net that I needed. He always cast away the shadows for me as a kid.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, he does. I think he should have a little piece up there too.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny with the whole um, two-parent relationships. I mean, it is a tradition to kind of, not tradition, but it's humanity has usually been raised with two parents, typically a mother and a father. And as we've gotten in time, we know um, divorce rates go up, and then different kind of power struggles in a relationship. I mean, I know that I've been in my kind of relationship, and it's hard because you're you're in with this person, and I'm just talking kind of maybe going into marriage a little bit, where you're tied to this person, and it's such a struggle. Like life is such a struggle, and yes, we have a need to kind of start a family and raise kids, but at the same time, it's so hard to do. I mean, even for me, when I think about the crypto markets and I think about fear and greed, there are so many times where you just feel anxious, or you're like you want more, let alone when you're kind of raising a family and you feel all these emotions and it's really hard to do, and you're like, oh, I need to provide for my kids and I can't, or what do I need to do here, or she's done this, and it's kind of humans dealing with emotion to go and provide is probably one of the hardest things. And I think that's where humanity needs to grow. Like in a way, your father absolutely has been able to provide you. I mean, I'm assuming with the physical needs. So you're being able to grow up and have certain physical needs met, such as food, shelter, that type of thing. But
Yeah, sure.
yeah, but then the next evolution for humanity is kind of this emotional thing, and maybe that's what COVID has done, where it it's kind of highlighted like how difficult it is to control emotion. And for you, you're being able to channel it into this beautiful art piece. I mean, every single piece you have is an emotional piece, and you recall upon a memory or an instance to be able to generate this. And I think for you, there are some negative aspects as there with your parents and or with your father, and you were able to produce this kind of beautiful piece, and I think that that's amazing. But also, I mean, how common or uncommon is that story these days? Unfortunately, if you have two parents kind of bringing you up, it's almost like a luxury these days, and it's not an uncommon story for someone to be brought up by a single parent. And imagine being a single parent and having to raise multiple families. Like it's really, really hard. And I wonder why we are like that now. Like why is humanity like that now? Like why don't we have both a man and a woman to bring us up? It just seems to be yeah, it's like a luxury as opposed to a necessity these days. And it's funny. I've seen this transition. I don't have the answer for it, but um, that seems to be where we're going. But thank you so much for, I guess, sharing this piece with us. You know,
Sure.
it's called, Be Brave Little One. It's currently selling for 1 ETH, and I hope that it does well for you. It's great. Um,
Thank you.
yeah,
I hope so too.
yeah. So, you know, Erin, I wanted to talk to you about kind of marketing and artwork. Marketing versus artwork. So when you think about a famous actor or a famous artist, usually they are always, I guess, telling their story, right? So, I don't know, love her or hate her, but you talk about Oprah Winfrey, right? Oprah Winfrey was this huge TV host. She's a black woman, and she's got stories of, she was abused as a child, and she has been able to channel that into something, great and amazing. But in a way, it's like, at what point is it the crowd that wanted that? Like, I guess my question is, how much of yourself do you need to give away to the world for it to kind of come back to you as something good? What are your thoughts on having to, like an artist, to kind of having to reveal their stories about themselves? I mean, do you think it's needed? Do you think it's not needed? Do you think it's something that you have to do, or like, what do you think?
Well, I think that in a at least let's say small percent, okay, you do have to tell the story, to let people know you. And it's not about marketing, it's about people that like your art, okay, that like all the guys today that are here with us in the gallery, in the voice chat, anywhere. They are entitled to know um, a part of this, a part of yourself. Because I'm not going to say my story every time I have an event. But for those who are here from the beginning, they should actually know a part of it. And like I said, it's not marketing. At least I don't think it's marketing, because I'm not posting this. I'm not saying anywhere else my story to get people's attention or get their people to go on OpenSea and buy my art because I told them my story. I'm doing it only because I want people to kind of understand the art, not to buy it for the story, but to understand it, to know why the heck I'm doing this kind of stuff, you know?
Yeah, and I think that's probably the path for an artist, is to be able to have your struggles and to be able to tell them without kind of breaking down. And when I say break down, I don't mean have like a mental breakdown, but to be able to toughen up and tell your story so that others might be able to benefit from it, and that you can be a source of strength. Because absolutely, being an artist means making yourself vulnerable, right? And when you produce a piece or a song or a bit of poetry, you have to put yourself out there and be ready to be critiqued, and be ready to say, I like your piece, or I don't like your piece. And if someone doesn't like what you've done, then how do you deal with that, and what do you do with it? Should you care, or should you not care? And I guess we were touching on, when does art become marketing? And at this stage, you're on the same path, that people who buy your artwork are entitled to know a bit about yourself. And I'd agree with that, because they are supporting you. And in a sense, it is financial support, but maybe that's the connotation of money. Maybe that's why we've moved from this kind of fiat system into a crypto system, because it's just a transfer of energy, right? And that might seem a bit lame, but that's what it is. It's a means and the capability to be able to do something. And as an artist, if someone is giving you and supporting you with the capability and means to do something, then they are entitled, I guess, to ask questions and to know who you are, and essentially fall in love with you in a way. Otherwise, why would they kind of want to support you? So yeah, I'd agree that you should kind of reveal a bit about yourself, but obviously only what you're comfortable with, right? Of course.
Yeah, everybody should have their own limits in this point, and everybody should not only have a limit, you should be um, okay with sharing. You
Yeah,
don't have you if you're doing it just because you think you have to do it, then it's not really fair, in my opinion. You shouldn't be feeling forced to share some things with the public.
no,
You should
no,
do it because you feel like you feel like you want to. You want the
yes,
public to understand your work, not to understand you and not to buy your work, but you want them to understand why are you doing this, what this art that you're creating means
yeah,
for you, not for them. Because like I see my art from my point of view, okay, from my emotions. But if you look at it for yourself, it might be something else. Okay, that doesn't mean it's wrong. It means that we're different people, different stories with different lives. As long as they do uh, give you an emotion or a feeling, for me, it's good enough. I don't need
yeah,
more. I don't need you to see as I see it. I need you
no,
to just relate with it in a measure. Maybe not 100%, but if you do understand it in your way, 10%, as I understand it, then it's more than enough for me.
yeah,
It means that I did something that people can relate with.
yeah, and absolutely people can
So
re
yeah, everybody, but only if they are comfortable with sharing, not because you have to do it.
no. And I guess there's a certain expectation. So when you produce a new piece of art, um, there are some things that are just going to be business as usual, which is you have your art piece, you need to tell a story about it. Um, but like you said, you kind of only do it once, and that part is, I guess, necessary, because if someone was to produce a piece of art and then not tell their story about it, then how do people connect to it? They kind of have to go inwards for themselves and generate something, and then it's maybe that's a little more difficult. So in a sense, at least maybe to build the momentum, yeah, you got to have these interviews and things like that to kind of promote your artwork, and maybe that's where the merger comes between what is business and what is art. And on that note, let's dive into one of your animated pieces. And then I really want to touch on this DG one as well, because that kind of is the only painting in your showing here that has a logo on it and a representation. But let's come back to that in just a minute. I want to go into this one over here because to me it's your first piece where you're provided some digital motion. And I'm going to bring that up here on stream. It's currently going for zero point 0.4 ETH, and it's called Diamond Hands. Diamond Hands. So we all know Diamond Hands is about, having your crypto and hodling it, right? So that, right? Is that what Diamond
Just
Hands?
hold.
Just hold.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Hold
yeah,
it.
yeah. Um, so in this case, this is one of Aeron's pieces. It's clearly a woman. I mean, there might be more of a backstory to it, but I'll let you go into it. But let's have a look. Currently, this one's on auction. Sale ends in 12 hours, and it's currently going for zero point 0.4 ETH. And you can see I'm just going to click onto it here, and this is her first piece. Just got the audio coming through there, but you can see there the Ethereum is spinning around. The Ethereum is spinning around, and it's an absolute tornado. And maybe that's what Ethereum has been like since it's come onto the scene. I mean, we wouldn't be here without the smart contracts, Ethereum, to kind of bring more use cases.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, to bring in more use
It's a
cases.
big part of this whole blockchain situation.
Yeah, and it's a layer one solution. And yes, okay, we have some other kind of layer twos like Matic come out, and there are some other options like ADA and Polkadot kind of apparently these Ethereum killers. But anyway, Ethereum just keeps going and going. So, tell us about this piece here. I'll leave it on play, but I'll just mute it. But the sound is a tornado. So how is it like kind of producing a digital artwork and then um, putting some animation on there, but also emotionally, like what is this piece?
Yeah, this is the first ever time when I tried an animation on an NFT, and it's not perfect. I can tell you that. But it's pretty good. I'm really happy with it, and I have to thank to Anjo for this. He's here. He's a guest of
What a
mine. We're
bunch.
gonna talk to him in a bit.
Yeah.
He really helped me out with this. He helped me out with motion effects over my NFTs. Like he taught me about it. He introduced me to some new programs. He's a really great guy. And like I said, we're gonna have a short talk with him too because I really like and enjoy his creations too. His NFTs, wearables. Great guy. Thank you, Joe, for all the help.
Thanks, man.
But yeah, this piece is not related to me. Like I said, I have some 5-10% art that's not related to myself, to my life. I kind of associated my logo with Ethereum being such a strong and I can say kind of a stable coin, in the market. Everybody knows about Bitcoin and Ethereum, and I wanted some known symbol with my name there, and I chose it for myself. And this is, in my view, of course, the way of the girl is creating the planet Ethereum. If you see in the background, we have some other planets there too. Um, and she's kind of creating a whole new world.
Mm,
Um, yeah, this is just the beginning of the art creation.
yeah, cool. So I guess for me, that's the she's creating a whole new world. So for me, that's kind of like the centralized world back there, the planet in the distance where it's a traditional finance system. And here we are creating a whole different kind of Ethereum. Yes, we had Bitcoin, but we've got Ethereum here, which is absolutely added some ground as well. That's cool. And then you've got this kind of again feminine woman coming in, and she's like what is she, a cyborg? Um,
She's a goddess.
she's a goddess. Yeah, she can do it. That's great. But when I look at these and I can see that her hands are clearly not human hands, it's kind of looking at humans going to a
Well,
yeah. I was going to say
she's a blockchain
she's a blockchain goddess. Yeah, maybe she's got a smart contract arm, but it's kind of like humans
goddess.
transitioning from blood and bones or into kind of a cyborg mentality as well. I mean, here we are. We're in a digital space. I mean, I'm interacting with you with my avatar, and I'm
Exactly.
looking at you, and I'm looking at your outfit, and kind of what you're choosing to wear, and we're using this platform or this planet or metaverse as a way to communicate. And when I look at this piece, it's like, at what stage are we not human anymore? Yes, okay, we're humans in the sense that our emotions are connecting, um, and we're but but we're not doing that in a physical form anymore. So that's that's how I see it. That yes, okay, you got this beautiful, sexy woman goddess, kind of with her arm though, which is no longer human, but still resembles this human limbs, right? Or the human anatomy is still there, and she is bringing it up into this Ethereum creation or blockchain creation, and she is giving life. But do we change from that as well? When we leave a centralized system, we're leaving some of our I don't know, like our physical bodies or physical senses behind. Like, is there a price to pay for coming into a decentralized system? I mean, we like it. We think that it's great because we think that a centralized system is too much controlled by the masses or the establishments or political parties. And as we come into a decentralized world, we under the belief or the hope that it's going to be a better system. But sometimes I wonder, or does there need to be a balance? Because absolutely, we still have our human conflicts. Even though we're in a metaverse, we still have our conflicts. And, why does that happen? And is it really going to change? I wonder. But that's what this piece does for me. That kind of makes me think about, yes, a new system, a new economy, but also can humanity, is it really going to be better for us to kind of move forward and govern ourselves? And, does it need to get worse before it gets better? Or is it just a cycle? Yeah. So thank you for making this one. I love it. I've really, really liked this one. It's your first animated piece, and I really hope that it
Yeah.
you yeah, when I think that has some real depth and real meaning. It's going for point 4 ETH, and good luck. Good luck with that one. So
Thank you.
yeah. Well, I mean, well, sorry, the sound is just okay. That's better.
Yeah, I can't hear you anymore.
Yeah. I'm just gonna mute you, MLDC, just because okay, I think that's better. Sorry, mate, that had to be done. But hey, so yeah, Aaron, what do you think about that? Like, what do you think about our transition into a metaverse? I mean, I like it, and I know that you work at DG, and I'm I work there as well, and we both kind of give tours and things. But I mean, and you're spending more time in the metaverse. Like, what do you think? Are we making the right decision? Should we be trying to grow this out? Is it going to advance us? Is it going to set us back? Like, what do you reckon?
Well, you're, if you were to ask me a few years ago, I would say it's kind of a joke.
A joke,
But now
yeah,
that you're asking me these days, yeah, after seeing how much it can grow and evolve, and how much money are invested in, and lots of projects coming up and growing, not just coming up, because it's one to create a project, and it's another thing to actually making work and making money out of it. Because in the end, I think all of us are resuming to money,
yeah,
to come here and make some money from your projects.
yeah. Well, I mean, money,
Yeah,
money is food.
yeah.
You know, we
I
need it.
think it's. I don't think. Yeah, even if it's in real life or in here in a metaverse, everybody to do something good out of it. But seeing this Decentraland potential, yeah, I think it's. I really think it's a good thing, for people. I think it's a good thing for the future. Like, I don't think I'm gonna die in 1 year or 5 years. But on contrary, I think it's gonna grow a lot, and there are going to be some pretty crazy projects here that everybody will be able to enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there anything that's kind of on your mind at the moment, like in terms of projects? Is there anything that's you kind of going, oh, I got to get on this one because there are so many projects going on at the moment, so many NFTs, and you can't get on board with any of them. But I mean, do you have any favorites at the moment?
Oh, favorites. I don't know.
Is there
I
one that
spend a
stands
lot of
out?
time in the metaverse, that's for sure.
Yeah,
But most of the time I spend it in the casino
yeah,
and for Decentral games. Um, it's a really great project, and I'm not marketing it because I'm working there, okay? Just to be clear.
yeah,
I do like it. I enjoyed it from the first time, and I keep going there before I worked for them.
yeah,
It's a great owl with lots of potential, and as we can see, they are growing. They
yeah,
are opening. They opened the Ataris as well. They have a poker now, which is awesome.
yeah,
If you guys
definitely.
are poker players, join this Discord.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I also enjoy the Metasong. I don't spend that much time there, I have to say that, but
yeah,
it's also a pretty great project, and many people are into that. I
yeah,
can see that with the NFTs from there and lots of options, you know.
yeah.
Um,
Well, yeah, I
and
mean,
also you can see a lot of art in Decentraland, like
definitely.
from so different things, like from paintings to a lot of things. Uh, you can actually enjoy lots of I think all the projects, like if you're into music you can find that in Decentraland. If you're into art you can find it. If you're into gambling you can find that. Like you can find anything. If you're into games you're finding that, even into the wonder zone, you know. You can you can find lots of things in here and actually enjoy playing it or doing it and getting rewards at the end, because that's the important part, I think, for most of us. I won't say all of us because I won't talk for every single one that's here, but most of us are enjoying the rewards, right? Like you go in the casino, you mine for digi tokens, you get some NFTs from poker, you get some money at the competitions. You go to Wonder Mine, you mine, you create some wearables, you can sell, you can make money, um, and so on. You buy an NFT and you sell it with bigger price later. You make some profits out of it. You know, everywhere you look, you have lots of potential and you have lots of things to do in here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's a great. On that note, I know I'd like to get into Decentral Games as well. Let's have a look at this piece here. So I was saying earlier that this is the only piece that has an actual logo on it, and we were talking earlier about when is it okay to have marketing into art, or are they one and the same? Because when you look at any kind of large company, it's very common for them to want to have a commercial or an advertisement that ends up being a piece of art. I mean, absolutely, that's your ideal scenario. And kind of things go viral. And when they go viral, then why do they go viral? Is it because that's a fantastic piece of art and that's how you can absolutely describe it? So let's go into this piece. How did you when and after you describe it, I would love to kind of ask you, how did you feel about putting a logo on your artwork that's kind of not your own?
It feel a bit weird. I don't really remember exactly, and I don't wanna say something bad, but I think at some point, I don't know if it was actually a supervisor or someone. I'm pretty sure I asked someone from DG team if I'm allowed to do that.
Mm,
You know,
right.
because I
Yeah.
didn't. I didn't really knew if I can do it, with their
Yeah,
logo. But then I
yeah,
was like, oh, wait a second, I have the Ether logo on my logo. Is that even
yeah.
right? Yeah,
Mm,
it's pretty weird to have so much freedom to like gamble with all the logos and all the other let's say companies or projects logos, because if
yeah,
you're thinking like freely, you can actually do anything with it. Nobody can actually say something, or they will say, but they can't really stop you,
mm,
you know.
yeah,
But
yeah,
in the same time, it's pretty good because you can create something like this, and this is pretty good. I a lot. Um, and I think people actually enjoy it. I got so many great feedbacks about this space with the G logo.
yeah,
I'm excited about it because I wanted to do something nice with the G. Um, but I'm not sure how to say about I felt good um, using their logo.
yeah.
I hope I did it a good job and they're not disappointing
I don't think I think
in
I don't think
having the
that
logo
no.
here.
I'm 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 positive that they're not disappointed with this piece, and um, I think just a great piece. And yes, okay, it has a logo on it, but why does anyone have a logo? I mean, we can absolutely have. I mean, even charities have a logo. World Vision or Red Cross, they all have a logo. So, what is it? It's just it's a symbol or representation of something. So then it's about, well, once you get past the fact that it's a business and a corporation or LLC, which has to be done for so many reasons, then you can move on to kind of what it is. And DG, it's a crypto token. It's absolutely innovative. It's leading the space in Decentraland for metaverse gambling, and at this stage has no competition, right? And so, in terms of the token itself and the value, you know, um, full disclosure, I absolutely have some, and I'm staking it. I think it's going to do well. But what we're going to do is, well, is this why isn't this shilling? I mean, it's easier to make that argument. It's easier to be vulnerable. Oh, sorry, it's not easy to be vulnerable, but when you do produce art, you make yourself vulnerable. So what I mean by that is you have to expect that people are going to come into this and go, what is this? Is this just a brochure? Like, what are you doing? What is DG? And it's like, well, you know, for Aeron, it's and for myself, it's also a source of income, right? Like we are there. We're casino host. We help and we support the community, but there are some great people in there as well, and it's very much, at least to me, because I've seen people come and go. It's like a family as well, where there are black sheep, and there's a kind of a guardian figure there. There are people who are coming in and out. It has the good and the bad. So I know when you said before, you have to be careful about what you say, and you don't want to say the wrong thing, and that's cool. Like, I mean, because you're such a humble girl, and that's um that's kind of who you are, and that's great. But I don't think there's anything wrong in saying that every single organization and every single logo or business or organization has to go through this trial of ups and downs, ups and downs. And I think in terms of a financial one, I mean, just look at the token, right? The price chart goes up and down, and DG is doing that itself now. Like, it's partnering with a whole bunch of partners, but it has had its moments as well. And I guess that's a reflection of an organization in the metaverse going through staffing. And, there's no argument that they're employing people and they're providing an income. And then it's hard because in a centralized system, there's a huge process, right? There's a full human resources department. and there's, if you're a large organization, maybe 10, 20, 30 people just dedicated to interviewing first round, third round, second round, go through a final interview, and then there's probation periods, and then, but that's in the centralized world. And mind you, human resources also organize payroll and all that type of stuff. But here, we're in the metaverse and everything is done via this Discord. And I think in terms of transactions and processes, it's certainly much faster. And I think it's just absolutely a way that business can be done. Now, is it perfect? No, it's not. But at the same time, it's decentralized. You can come in and you don't need to do any kind of KYC or, kind of, which is like know your customer and provide, licenses and passports and all these types of things. Like it's almost like you come into the metaverse and you have to build a reputation for yourself, and that's what it is. And if your reputation is tarnished, then you have to come in and start again. But it also makes it easy to start again because you can just create another Discord. You can just create another MetaMask account. You can just create another Twitter account. And you can even create fake ones and cause havoc if you want. And I think that's something that humans are transitioning and kind of having to deal with that as well, because we don't know how to deal with it. And so we're learning in that aspect as well. And I think DG is part of that, and it's the ground up. And I think the metaverse, or Decentraland specifically, is better for it. But we and they're an example on how to do things. But we can also look to them as use cases on learnings on how not to do things as well. Because I'm sure if we got the DG guys and asked them, what are the things that you've done that you would do differently, then there are things that they would do differently. I'm sure, Aeron, there are things that you would do differently. There's things that 100 Rainbows would do differently. But it's more about making yourself vulnerable, knowing shit's going to happen, and moving on from it and recovering. So I think that's, I think they're doing great stuff. And I hope that this piece becomes like kind of historical piece for DG. I mean, it's called Diamond Hands against, again, HODL. Go for 0.5 ETH. And you know what, Aeron? It just made me realize that when organizations have museums as well, like even when you go into like a large accounting firm or a large insurance company, a lot of them will have museums in their floor and art galleries on their floor where staff can go in and look at the different pieces and the history of the company. And you know, this is so absolutely, I think that art can kind of enter the business space as well, and in many ways, just kind of one and the same. Just depends on how you tell the story.
Yeah, I think you're right. It
Yeah,
it may be a piece for the future. Who knows?
yeah, I think so. I hope so. So we've got a couple more pieces to go down, Aeron. We got your logo here. We got your gallery. What have we got left? These two pieces over here. We should talk about the snake. I mean, this is probably the most battlesome scene. Snakes. Is it a snake or is it a dragon? What is that?
Yeah, it's a snake with multiple heads.
Ooh.
It's a dangerous one.
Yeah. This one's going for 0.2 ETH. It's called Venom. So,
Yeah,
how did you do this one? I mean, does it have a story behind it, or is it just, and it's fine as well, because if it's just a
it's just
lovely
like
piece to look at, like,
you. It's just like I don't know. It's weird to put it in words.
mm,
uh, you sneak up behind your demons. It's um, it's pretty much everybody has a dark side. Let's say that way. This is just something that I made. Like you can kill your demons if you want, you know. You can create good things out of bad, but it doesn't have a lot uh, of meaning. I don't know. It's pretty hard to put it in words.
Yeah.
It's more like a feeling for me. So I don't really have a way to explain it.
Yeah. No, that's okay.
It's not a story. It's not representing someone or something from my life. It's
Yeah.
just a feeling.
Yeah. That you felt at the time. And that's cool. Like, I mean, that's part of the process. I know that it, I mean, when after hearing you say that, it makes me think of songwriters and artists and musicians where they don't always have to work on intuition or a spontaneous feeling. I mean, sometimes if it happens, like they wake up in the morning and they feel, energized and have to produce some work and just have this natural momentum, that's great. But sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes you just have to get your butt, sit in that chair, have a schedule, have a routine, and produce some work. And you never know what's going to happen. And what I liked about this is you have a showing, and yes, okay, you have some pieces that you really like, and then maybe some pieces that you don't like. And that's part of the natural process. I think that maybe when someone produces a gallery or produces artwork, they only want to produce their or showcase their best pieces. But, maybe to you, sometimes the best pieces are the ones that you produce in the shortest amount of time. I mean, I remember thinking about the Beatles and how sometimes they just wake up and their most successful songs are the ones that they were able to produce in 5-10 minutes, or maybe not that long, maybe 4 or 5 hours, and yet it just comes out as this wonderful piece and that they can produce in this small space of time. So that's great. Again, I think when you have a gallery, you've got to have the ones that you don't like to know the ones that you do like. And you know what? There might be someone that comes along and goes, you know what, she didn't like it, but damn, I like it. Because whenever I try to chop off a snake's head, another one grows. So it's just about, toughening yourself up. So, I like that. And that's going for zero point 0.2 ETH. And the auction is going to finish in about 10 hours. So that's great. And let's get on to your last piece then, Aeron. Hey? So this one here is, I think for me, has the most color, is the most aesthetically pleasing. It's 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 and you've got emotion, like animation on there as well. So this one's called The Soul of the Forest. It's very, very Aeron when looking at it. It's just like when I look at this, I just go like, I know your style now, and if I see a piece, I'm going to be like, yeah, no, that's an Aeron Treasures, I can tell. Um, so why don't you tell us about the final piece here?
Well, honestly, this just inspires freedom. You know, it's not something that I relate with. It's not something from my life as well. It's just something that made me feel really free. I created with such a great pleasure. Like everything was in place. Everything worked perfectly at this piece.
Yeah.
Um, it it was so colorful, so cheerful, so full
Mm,
of life somehow. It just made me so it gave me so much pleasure creating it. Um, I don't have a story behind it or anything
yeah. No, don't force it.
juicy on it,
Don't force
but
it. It's okay.
yeah, I can say it's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Even though it doesn't mean something specifically for me, it is something that I really like. I, I don't know. It just gives me like a freedom.
Mm,
It's inspiring me freedom
yeah.
somehow.
No, I see that. I can absolutely see that. I mean, I can see that. a lot of your pieces is about learning from maybe tragedy or something that's happened. But for this one, it makes me feel happy, um, and that really comes through. That came through already. So when to hear you describe that there was pleasure in producing it, like that comes through. You can see it in the color, in the textures, and it's lovely. And again, it's another piece where you've provided some animation, and I think it's great how you've done that. Like there's a subtlety to it, where it's just the butterflies coming through, and actually her hair is slightly being pulled to the left as the wind is blowing as well. So I look at that. It's just a pleasing piece to kind of look at. Again, just represents cheer. Yeah. So why don't we come over here and we can kind of like finish up. So how you feeling? We're gonna. It's You've had a couple of red wines. What's the time for you now? 1:30, 2 a.m.
It's 2:20, 2:20
2:20.
a.m.
Yeah, we've been going for a little while,
Yeah,
haven't we? Well, look, hey,
yeah, but
yeah, look, I've had a ball, Aaron, kind of coming in here and talking to you. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much to everyone in the Discord chat, kind of having a listen. If you're watching on or if you're watching on Twitch now, or if you're on YouTube, and the guys here who were able to be here in person, so to speak, thank you so much for coming. Again, it was a real pleasure to kind of have Aaron come here and do a one-on-one kind of watermelon podcast. Thank you so much. Aaron, was there any last kind of shout outs or people you'd like to mention? I know you were talking about Ange before, but he wasn't here. But he's here now.
yeah, Joe, if you're there, I would like to hear you too. Um, I want to thank you first of all, Rainbow, for all of this. It's awesome to have people that actually help you through all of this. My arc out there and help me with this podcast, which was a great podcast. Um, I love the conversation. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm really happy, like really happy right now with everything. Um, I don't know if Joe is still with us. I know he typed me earlier that he had to do something.
Yeah. Would you like me to jump on your Twitch? Because I know that your Twitter, sorry, because you've got here. I'm just bringing it up on screen. You got the Aaron um, Watermelon podcast with Aeron Treasures, and you're doing a green hoodie. So that's cool. And
Oh
Ange is helping you
yeah,
out with that. Ange Joe.
yeah, he helped me out with this. This is actually made by Aaron Joe. Okay, he created the hoodie for Aaron.
Great.
It's the first wearable item from Aaron's collection. Hopefully more to come.
Yeah.
This is the hoodie is gonna be it is a legendary one. Only 100 pieces minted. So let's hope people are excited about it like I am. Uh, the giveaway is still up, so if you guys haven't got to my Twitter page yet, just follow the steps from there, and you'll be on the giveaway. I'll announce the giveaway tomorrow, at least for me. I mean, in a few hours, I'm gonna wake up and announce the giveaway um, winners.
Yeah.
And send the prizes as well.
Yeah.
I'm gonna announce them also on Twitter if you guys are here and following us. So I'm gonna announce you on Twitter. I'm gonna tag you all the winners and send the prizes out. I really thank all of you that participated here. I see lots of likes and retweets, and you follow the steps. And I really enjoyed the comments with your favorite NFT. This was pretty cool. I've seen some new NFTs. I didn't knew about it, so that's pretty awesome. Uh, yeah, the share here has a really fun photo from the casino with the favorite NFT with a flamingo suit with the guys. this is
We'll have to,
this
we'll have
is crazy.
yeah.
Yeah, was a really fun day with this giveaway. I can give you that. The community is awesome. Like everywhere in Decentraland, everywhere you go, you can talk to people, you can interact with real humans. This is
Yeah,
awesome.
exactly.
It's not just a robot or something. It's a human at the other side saying hello.
That's
Who
right.
knows which corner of the world? So yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Great.
Um,
Great. Fantastic.
yeah, I want to thank DG as well, the Central Games.
Yeah.
They also really supported me. Much as Murph did a lot of work for me for the events that I hosted there. Also, GLHF and South, awesome guys, helped me through and still helping me. Um, I don't know. I wanna thank people that are still here with us on Discord or in game or Twitch, wherever you are, guys. Thanks for coming. This was fun.
Awesome. Thanks. Thanks, Aaron. Great to have you here.
Thank you.
Okay. On that note, we're going to say goodbye. Thank you so much. You've been listening to the Watermelon Podcast hosted by 100 Rainbows with Aeron Treasures. Bye,
Yay.
everyone. Yay, yay. We'll see you later.
See ya. Bye.